Coming up on WFT Midday, the current government shutdown hits 3 weeks today, affecting millions of Americans. We'll bring you the details about the latest negotiations and if there's any progress.
Plus, authorities say a man is under arrest after threatening to fire a gun in the nation's busiest airport. How authorities found out about the possible plot and how quickly they were able to respond.
And the National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on the newly formed tropical storm Melissa in the Caribbean. Our weather team tells you where the storm is headed and how strong it could get.
You're watching WUFT Midday.
You're taking a live look at Washington, D.C., where one of the longest government shutdowns in U.S. history is taking place. Lawmakers can't seem to find an agreement on a spending plan or even take a seat on the negotiation table. Welcome to WFT Midday. I'm Adragna.
And I'm Isabella Salamone. Around 1 million federal employees are on unpaid leave because of the shutdown. CNN's Amy Carle reports on why leaders on both sides of the aisle say they can't come to an agreement.
We need to end the shutdown.
At 21 days, the government shutdown is now tied for the second longest in U.S. history. Democrats say they want a funding bill that addresses Medicaid cuts and expiring Obamacare subsidies.
Tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles.
Republicans say they won't discuss that until Democrats pass their funding bill with no changes.
What exactly is there to negotiate?
The shutdown ties 130 years ago when congressional Republicans gave up about half the Medicare cuts they wanted in return for a balanced budget.
Newt Gingrich shut down the government in 1995 because he wanted Clinton to cut Medicare. Clinton wouldn't do it.
We didn't let the fighting stop the negotiating. We also didn't let the negotiating stop the fighting.
The longest shutdown ever remains the one during President Donald Trump's first term. It holds the record of 35 days after Democrats refused to pay for a border wall.
Whatever it takes. I mean, we're going to have a wall.
He didn't get it. And when air traffic controllers started not showing up to work, the Republicans buckled on that.
Unions say this shutdown is hard on air traffic controllers, too. Pre-existing staff shortages have many working overtime now without pay.
You're allowing outside stress to work its way into the control room.
I'm Amy Carle reporting.
The most significant change to the White House in a century is underway. Construction crews are demolishing part of a White House wing to make room for President Trump's new ballroom. NBC's Alice Barr tells us about who is covering the cost of the demolition and the president's latest trade deal.
A busy day in a White House under construction as crews begin demolishing part of the historic East Wing facade to clear the way for the massive ballroom addition President Trump has long touted to host more guests.
This was the ballroom, and this room holds 88 people, and the new one will hold 999 people.
The White House says the president and private donors will cover the estimated $250 million cost. But the renovations reverse an earlier Trump pledge not to touch the original building, and many Democratic lawmakers are slamming the move. While inside the White House, President Trump and the Australian Prime Minister signed a new deal Monday to invest in rare earth minerals, critical to producing advanced electronics and defense technologies.
In about a year from now, we'll have so much critical mineral and rare earths that you won't know what to do with them.
The move seen as a bid to counter China, which has a near monopoly on extracting and processing rare earths and has moved to curb exports amid high-stakes U.S.-China trade talks. At the same time, Vice President J.D. Vance arriving in Israel today, joining efforts to hold the fragile Gaza ceasefire together after violent flare-ups. President Trump upping the pressure on Hamas to stick to the terms and disarm.
They're going to behave, they're going to be nice, and if they're not, we're going to go and we're going to eradicate them.
The president again underscoring that would not include U.S. troops on the ground. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
A federal court is ruling that President Trump can deploy National Guard troops to Portland. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled 2-1 in favor of the president. The Trump administration argued the troops are needed to help protect a federal immigration and customs enforcement facility. A small group of demonstrators continues to gather outside the building, leading to occasional clashes with federal agents. But some local and state officials say the administration is exaggerating the scale of the incidents.
Well, it's very clear to me that President Trump is trying to use our National Guard as toy soldiers, and that is where we have a problem.
The two justices in the majority say the president's assessment of the danger posed to federal property is reasonable. In the dissenting opinion, the lone judge urged the court to reconsider deploying troops under these circumstances.
Tropical storm Melissa is brewing in the Caribbean, and it's predicted to reach hurricane strength by the weekend. UF forecaster Sienna Silvest is live in the weather studio with how fast or slow this storm could be moving over the next couple days.
Thank you, Isabella. At the 11 a.m. advisory, the National Hurricane Center bumped up Invest to Tropical Storm Melissa. Now it is currently located right here. As we go through the next couple of days, it is going to expect it to take kind of that north to maybe northwest turn. But as we go into Thursday, models are uncertain on the exact track of Tropical Storm Melissa. Its current wind speeds are at 50 miles per hour, and it is moving west at 14 miles per hour. What we do know is that Caribbean should brace for strong winds, storm surge, and any other impacts as Tropical Storm Melissa bumps up in strength. Now, this is our 13th storm of the 2025 tropical season. Now, we do have a little under a month and a half left, so we're always going to look to officials for more information, especially with Tropical Storm Melissa growing. Now, coming up, we are going to get more information on that cold weather and the season outlook.
Georgia authorities say a man is under arrest after he brought a weapon and ammunition to the parking lot near America's busiest airport. Investigators say authorities found 49-year-old Billy Joe Cagle just in the nick of time after they confirmed he threatened to shoot up Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Atlanta police say the man brought a semi-automatic weapon and 27 rounds of ammunition with him. The suspect's family called authorities once they saw his threats on social media, and Cagle faces terrorist threats and firearm charges.
Amazon Web Services is back online today after a massive outage yesterday. It affected everything from banking to social media platforms. It also impacted students at the University of Florida and nationwide. Students and faculty couldn't use the education technology app Canvas for most of the day, meaning students couldn't submit assignments and teachers could not grade them. The financial impact of the outage could total hundreds of billions of dollars. Its cause remains unknown.
The Florida Department of Law Enforcement is heading to Marion County to investigate human remains found in a neighborhood. On Friday, deputies assessed the area after receiving information that remains might be present in the Marion Oaks community. Detectives say that there is no evidence that connects these remains to an active Marion County investigation.
Starting this month through May 2026, the Ocala Police Department will conduct operations to improve pedestrian and bicyclist safety. The initiative is focused on areas with high crash rates, including South Pine Avenue, Silver Springs Boulevard, U.S. Highway 27, and Southwest College Road. Officials will direct special attention towards common violations that can lead to potential collisions. The goal is to increase awareness and enforce Florida's traffic safety laws for drivers, bicyclists, and pedestrians. The Putnam County Sheriff's Office says an Interlaken man is in custody after threatening a woman with pocket knives. Authorities say 61-year-old Minor Catledge confronted his neighbor who was walking her dog. The woman told deputies Catledge believed she was on his property. Then she says the man threatened to eat her dog. Law enforcement says while a deputy was taking him to the Putnam County Jail, Catledge claimed he was going to beat the woman when he got out. He's being held on a $5,000 bond.
We have a quick message for some of us driving in Hawthorne. Starting October 22nd, Southeast 220th Terrace will close because of construction. Crews are installing a new sewer line along the roadway to improve local infrastructure. Only local traffic is allowed through, and the project is expected to take 2 to 3 weeks to be completed with 4 to 5 active days each week.
Levy County neighbors, if you noticed a law enforcement presence near the Emergency Operations Center, it was only a training exercise, not an active emergency. The Levy County Sheriff's Office conducted the exercise this morning at EOC at Northeast 90th Street. It lasted about 3 hours and tested emergency response procedures.
After many games filled with the Fire Billy chants, Florida fans are celebrating the university's decision to fire the head coach. WFT's Carle spoke with Florida Gator fans who are ready to move forward and keep that Gator spirit alive.
While many students agree Napier had to go,
I do think it was deserved. I think it should have happened in the off-season, but I think he had it coming.
Most feel sorry for him.
I feel bad for him, but honestly, I'm quite happy. I think this will be beneficial for the program, and he is getting a good amount of money for it, so I think he'll be okay.
Billy Napier was like a good guy. I really thought he was a player's coach, but, on the field, he wasn't really getting results.
An overwhelming amount of fans weren't impressed with Napier's strategy on the field.
I think he could have done better if maybe he had hired, an offensive coordinator. But the play calling just wasn't there.
Fans at Saturday's game were fed up with Napier, and they made that clear.
I was there at the game. I did feel a little bit bad for him when everyone was chanting "Fire Billy Napier."
As for the future of Florida football, one man seems to take center stage.
Lane Kiffin. Ideally, Lane Kiffin. We should go get Kiffin. And I think he's the best candidate. He's very passionate, and I think his personality would work well here at UF.
Fans still hopeful the team can bounce back to tackle the rest of this season.
Fans are still craving a bowl game appearance, which can only happen if the Gators win 3 more games, and the Gators take on the number 5 ranked Georgia Bulldogs on November 1st.
Coming up, more on Tropical Melissa's track, as well as how we have that cold weather last week and how it's going to continue to persist in the southeast as we go later into this week.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
You're taking a live look at I-75 near mile marker 355 in Ocala. Traffic is flowing nicely and skies are mostly clear. Even with the clear skies, UF forecaster Sienna Silvest is live in the weather studio with how you might need some extra layers heading to work this week.
Absolutely. If we take a glance at what those temperatures were this morning, we felt those lows there in those mid to higher 50s. Now, this is colder than what we've experienced the last couple of weeks, but this pattern is going to continue as we go into the week. Now, those temperatures currently are around 80 degrees here in Gainesville, but they are in those mid to upper 70s there, both on the western eastern coast of Florida. Now, we are going to look at that campus cam. We are going to see partly cloudy skies. Those clouds are going to clear up slightly as we go throughout the day, as well as into tomorrow. Like I said before, that temperature here as well as on campus is 80 degrees. A little bit of winds. We're not going to see much of those coming in from the south there at 3 miles an hour. That humidity pretty low there in those mid 60s, as well as with that dew point. Now, those high temperatures for today, we are going to feel a slight warm up into those mid 80s. We are going to see kind of 84, 85 here in the Gainesville and surrounding areas. There on that eastern coast, slightly cooler than we are feeling inland of Florida. Now, here looking at this future cast, we are going to see this cold front move in more from the southeast here into Florida. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to bring in a slight chance of rain, but majority of Florida is going to stay dry as we go into tomorrow. There's just going to be that slight chance as this cold front moves in all the way through tomorrow morning. Now, as this crosses the Gainesville area there, you can see around 8 a.m. What this is going to do is it's going to bring fog. There's going to be patchy fog as you wake up tomorrow between 6 and 8 a.m. So look out for that as you make your commute to work tomorrow morning. Now, as we go into the night, those clouds are going to clear up. We are going to see clearer skies than we are currently. Those temperatures are going to cool down there into those upper 60s and then even there in those upper 50s as we go into the late hours of the night. Now, like I said before, lows and fog for tomorrow. We are going to see that patchy fog there between highest chances between 6 and 8 a.m. with those lows around upper 50s going into those lower 60s. Now, that higher temperature for tomorrow is going to be similar to what we're seeing today, and that cold air from that cold front going through tomorrow mid-afternoon. We're going to see the coldest of those temperatures there on Thursday. Thursday morning low temperatures are going to be nearing those high 40s there toward the north of us. Now, we are going to take a little bit of a look back into the Atlantic. Tropical storm Melissa, key message here, it is very low to 0% chance we are going to have any effect here in Florida or the mainland U.S. It is just the Caribbean to watch out for. Now, 2025 season outlook for the tropics. Let's take a glance at that. Named storms, NOAA forecasted between 13 and 19. Our actual is at that bottom half there at 13. Our hurricanes this season at 4. Major hurricanes there at 3. But there is a month and a half left of hurricane season, and we are going to look out for that. Fog tomorrow and cooler temperature as we go into the week.
Getting a good night's sleep can be hard. 1 in 3 U.S. adults don't regularly get the recommended amount of uninterrupted sleep each night. That's according to the National Institutes of Health. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why your sleeping position can affect how well you rest.
It's a basic human need. Sleep helps restore the body, and not getting enough good quality sleep can actually make you sick.
We tend to develop chronic diseases.
Sleep neurologist Dr. Nancy Foldberry with Cleveland Clinic says your position in bed may affect whether you get a good night's sleep, especially if you have certain medical conditions.
Probably 30% of men, 10% of women in their middle-aged years have sleep apnea, and the prevalence of that increases as we get older.
Foldberry recommends sleeping on your side if you have obstructive sleep apnea or other chronic conditions like heart failure or arthritis. And if you have acid reflux, she says sleep on the left side. Not sleeping on your back can help keep airways clear.
I'm sure we can all resonate with the story of the loud snorer on their back and the bed partner does the elbow to get that person to roll over onto their side.
If you have chronic nasal congestion or have a deviated septum, Foldberry says side sleep is also recommended. If one side of your nose is more stuffy than the other, she says to sleep on the side that allows the blocked nostril to be upright. Sleeping with your head slightly elevated can also help.
I've got many patients who sleep much better on their right side than their left side, and it's not clear why, but you're aiming to sleep in the position that is going to make you feel the most refreshed.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now let's head over to our Noticias partners for a look at today's top stories for our Spanish language audience.
Hola, soy Valentina Echeverri con tus noticias en 90 segundos. Un robo de joyas a plena luz del día en el Museo Louvre deja a Francia en crisis. El ministro de Justicia admite que fallaron mientras Francia se recuperaba del robo en el Louvre. Los protocolos de seguridad fracasaron y permitieron un gran robo de joyas en el Museo de París, dejando una mala imagen del país. Los ladrones con herramientas eléctricas entraron de día, robaron 8 piezas de valor incalculable y escaparon en motos. El gobierno reforzó la seguridad en los museos y tema que, si no atraparon pronto a los ladrones, las joyas como un collar de diamantes y esmeraldas que Napoleón regaló a su esposa sean destruidas o sacadas del país. El Louvre permanecerá cerrado mientras continúan las investigaciones. Ryan Woods juramentó como el nuevo jefe de policía del Santa Fe College. La ceremonia se realizó el jueves y asistieron su familia, profesores, empleados del colegio, oficiales de otras agencias y miembros de la comunidad. Woods fue elegido en agosto y empezó oficialmente el 1 de octubre, tras el retiro del antiguo jefe Ed Book. Woods ha trabajado en el Santa Fe College por casi 30 años, pasando por varios cargos como oficial, teniente, capitán y más recientemente como mayor del departamento policial del colegio. El mundo se entera de lo dependiente que es de Amazon después de su corte de Internet global. Los servicios web de Amazon fallaron durante la mayor parte del lunes, dejando a millones sin acceso a muchos servicios importantes. El público quedó alarmado de lo dependiente que es la sociedad moderna de una compañía después de que muchas funciones esenciales dejaron de operar. El fallo de los servicios web de Amazon dejó a profesores sin acceso a su material educativo, a hospitales sin acceso a comunicaciones esenciales, a ciudadanos sin acceso a sus cuentas de banco y a sus cámaras de seguridad. El fallo de AWS continúa teniendo efectos en las operaciones normales de la vida diaria el martes. Estas fueron tus noticias en 90 segundos. Gracias por sintonizarnos.
Coming up, it's a bye week for Florida football, and interim head coach Billy Gonzalez is taking the reins after Billy Napier's firing.
Our sports teams bring you the latest on how he's getting the team ready for the Florida-Georgia game. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Landen with your midday sports report. Florida football's former wide receivers coach Billy Gonzalez will fill the shoes of former head coach Billy Napier after he was fired on Sunday. Gonzalez showed his eagerness to start in his first public appearance as interim head coach.
The standards and the expectations at the University of Florida and Gator football program are to win championships. I'm going to be me. I'm a little different than Coach Napier. I love Coach. I'm different than Urban. I'm different than some of the other coaches I've worked for. I'm going to be me, but I want to make sure that these guys know we're going to try to put them in the best possible position to go make those plays. And I'm excited. I'm excited about the opportunity.
And quarterback DJ Lagway expressed his gratitude for the opportunity to represent the Gators, excited for the rest of the season.
that means everything to me. Playing for this logo, man, this logo means a lot to me, and I'm just thankful and part of be able to be a part of such a great, history of being a Florida Gator. So I'm excited.
In Florida golf, both the men's and women's teams are competing in tournaments today with a first-place start. Florida's men's team is playing their last round of the Williams Cup in Wilmington, North Carolina, leading by 19 strokes ahead of Texas. Sophomore Zach Swanwick led the way for Florida, tied for first with Notre Dame's Nate Stevens. As for the women's team, they're at Mississippi State's Ally Tournament, tied with Arkansas for first. Elaine Wajaya is leading in first place for Florida, tied with Ole Miss's Philippa Sunduquest and Iowa's Maura Peters. High school volleyball state tournaments are right around the corner with the FHSAA playoffs starting today. Tonight at 6, Newberry will play McKeel Academy in Lakeland, and then at 7, Oak Hall will play Trinity Catholic in Ocala. Top Alachua County schools like Gainesville and Buchholz will enter the tournament tomorrow. Tune into First at 5 to hear from Gators men's basketball preseason and more updates on Florida golf. And that's your Midday Sports Report. I'm Liz Landen.
Now let's take a look at what's coming up on First at 5 on Channel 5.
We take a look at how Governor DeSantis' quest to end property taxes could affect our local government here in North Central Florida. Why officials say the results would not be good for residents and their communities.
And the Alachua County Board meeting is under an hour to discuss the future of transportation in the area, the cheaper alternatives to driving they hope to support.
Plus, a 25-year Gainesville institution has finally shut its kitchen doors. We'll bring you the story of Ballyhoo Grill and why it was forced to permanently shutter. For all that and more, make sure to catch First at 5 on Channel 5.
I don't know about you guys, but I find this time of year to be the hardest to actually figure out what to wear. I woke up this morning, I bundled up, it's low 60s, and I know I'm going to leave here today, and it's going to be mid 80s, I'm going to be sweaty.
Absolutely, that high temperature for today is going to reach those mid 80s. You're going to see those temperatures warm up and continue this pattern as we go throughout the week with those colder temperatures in the morning and then reaching those mid to low 80s as we go towards the middle of the day. Now, Tropical Storm Melissa, the key message here is that the track is uncertain as we go throughout the next couple of days and that there should not be of any warning here for Florida or in the southeast. Now, as we go into the weekend, it's going to be foggy tomorrow and continued pattern of cool in the morning and 85 in the day.
Thanks for joining us for WFT Midday. We're back here tomorrow for another edition.
We will see you later today for First at 5 on Channel 5.